All right, my beautiful Aquarius, you know I love you. You know you have a special place in my heart. So, Aquas, listen, this next month in November, y'all need to be very, very careful as to how you're going to handle people. Because y'all, when you're right, remember, you can really hurt someone's feelings just because. And what you say is true, but you got to really, really work on this delivery in the month of November. And I'll tell you why. You have Mercury retrograde. We all do have Mercury retrograde, but it's in this house where there's groups. So we have active skies this November. I'm not going to go into everything very deeply because there's so many things going on in November. I wanted to touch upon all of it. I will tell you that the most viewed video for November in December, whatever sign that is, it's the most viewed video for November. December will get a full Celtic reading. So that full, if you've never seen a full Celtic reading from me, because some of you guys are new, go watch the Gemini because they got theirs last month. You'll get a full Celtic reading and full astrological reading, where we'll go over each day and the aspects and the houses and all that kind of stuff. So welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cindy. I am the modern day spiritual advisor. I use multiple modalities, including astrology, tarot, mediumship, all kinds of stuff to help you on your path. So my gorgeous ones, I know stuff is happening. I know stuff is happening for you. But it's just got started. I mean, I told you guys, and we have these great aspects, but we have some other things going on that you guys are going to have to be really, really careful about. So let's just go over this very quickly. I'm going to do it as fast as I can without going in too deep, but you know how that goes when I'm channeling. So, but you guys know me. All right, so in November 1st starts off with a bang. On that first day, we have Venus. It's already retrograde. It's going to go direct in the middle of November, but it's retrograde, but on the first, it moves signs. It moves into Libra, right? So it's retrograde. You're amending, you're revising, you're reworking, you're reorganizing. And this is what I'm talking about. This has to do with your ninth house. So this is your belief system, your understanding, higher education, becoming more aware. It could have to do with foreign travel, foreign people, like that. So you're going to be dealing a lot with people this month, Aquarius. I don't know how to say this because you guys, like when you say something, you're right and you mean it, and you won't say it unless you're right and you mean it. But sometimes you got to soften the blow sometimes. And sometimes, even if you're right, somebody may be trying to give you a different aspect, a different way of looking at it so that you can move a little bit, so that everybody can get what they want, right? I don't know how to explain this without going too deep. Okay, so just be careful with groups because this is going to be in your ninth house, and this could be with foreign people, foreign travel, and that. But there's revisions in there. This is Venus. It's love, relationships. It's money. It has to do with your money, and you know how you are about your money. So that's going on 1st of November. Then on that same day, Mercury is moving into Sagittarius. So that's going to be in your 11th house again, with groups, with the internet, with this is the house of gains, but it's with could be influential people too. I'm finding influential people for some of you. But it has to do with your 10th house. The 11th house supports your 10th house, which is your career and your public life. Public life, be careful, because a lot of you are actors, entertainers, musicians, sports figures, public figures. Be careful in this area. So when Mercury moves into this, you're going to get a message because at that time it's conjunct, or it's speaking to Jupiter. Jupiter has been in this house of, in this 8th house for you, which is other people's money, resources, things like that. You've been really, really working in there for the last year. So as Mercury comes out and moves into Sagittarius, it's very optimistic. Sagittarian itself is a sign that's very optimistic, likes to look at the brighter side of things. And so Mercury comes with that sort of message having to do with what you worked on with Jupiter, right? So you could be getting a message about, I don't know, maybe it's more money that you're getting, or maybe it's this contract that you get, or maybe it's this inheritance that you get, or maybe it's the lottery that some of y'all are feeling. Like something is coming, right? And it's this message for you. Okay, so that happens on the 1st. But remember, energy doesn't stop and start, and everybody has their own charts, and sometimes there's something aspecting there where it may take a few days or a week, okay? If you have questions about, well, you said, and this blah, 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 well, if it ain't coming true, then you probably need to come see me because you probably have a different chart. Like if I'll show you guys my chart one day. I have bigger houses and other signs in my houses, and it's kind of different. So, that's on the 1st. Then on the 6th, I'm trying not to go deep. So then on the 6th, we have the North Node. So we have the nodes. This is a big thing. We have the nodes, the North Node and the South Node changing signs as well, right? And so on the 6th, Cancer, right here, if you look, the North Node is going to move into Cancer, which means the South Node is going to move into Capricorn. Okay, so wherever the North Node is, the South Node is opposite, always. Okay, so in your 12th house, you know, all this stuff of completing things and dealing with things and having that isolation that you may have been wanting, or really working through that because you've had Saturn and Pluto there, and we talked about the Pluto aspect or what Pluto meant in your sign last month or for October. So wherever the North Node and the South Node are in your birth chart, is the South Node to me means that you've probably lived a lot of lives in that. That's a comfortable energy for you. You understand that energy when you don't know what to do, when you're very, very tired, when you just want to have some peace. You go to your South Node. That's the energy you like, right? It's kind of the energy that anchors you, right? Your North Node is the path you're taking, the thing you're growing into, the thing you want to do more of or be more of, but it is balanced with your South Node, right? I'm trying to say this very quickly. Now, when it's transiting, which means they don't stop moving just because we were born, they keep moving, so that's a transit. They're transiting. Your North Node is going to be in Cancer, which is going to be in your 6th house. Your South Node is going to be in your 12th house. Remember, the 12th house is the subconscious, the completion, the ending, the connection between this world and other worlds, right? But you can look at it this way. The 12th house is your subconscious, the things that just come to you, where the 6th house is your conscious. This is the choices that you get to make by the things that you see around you, changing your lifestyle, changing your nutrition, changing the way that you live your life, changing the way that you see people, changing the way that you have your schedule. That's all the 6th house, right? So wherever your North Node is transiting is where you're going to be spending most of your time for the next year and a half, a little bit more than a year and a half. But when it moves into that 6th house, you're going to be more focused on that area of your life, where you had been focused on me, my completion, my connection, my the bigger picture, and what am I doing, and my life purpose, and I feel these things from the past, and all of that. Now that it's transiting into your 6th house, that house, it's almost like when Jupiter goes in there, it's building that house and making it bigger. You're going to be more focused. And that doesn't mean that, like Jupiter, where you have to like concentrate and learn. It's going to be like opportunities are going to come. Things are going to come in your life where you're just going to be more focused. You're going to want to go to your 12th house where you can be isolated and calm down and regenerate and all that stuff. It's going to be harder for you to get to that for the next year and a half. Now, you are Aquarius. You know. All of you Aquarius know. And if you don't know, then you need to know. You need time to regenerate. You are a humanitarian. You are a healer. You are just naturally that way. Your life force, your chi, your whatever you call that, your energy, you like to help heal people naturally. It's innate with you. So you have to regenerate. So you are going to have to learn to balance and go to that 12th house. Okay, during this next year and a half, it's important. Some of you can cycle and do it like once a week. Some of you can do it once a month. I don't really recommend once a month, but some of you need to do it every other day. Some of you need, that's what I'm talking about is that time that you need alone. Whether it's to go daydream, whether it's to connect, whether it's to meditate, whether it's to go work out. So, like, I need to go work out because that's where I get in the zone, and I meditate every day. So, but I need that time, right? Aquarians need that time. If you don't, you're just going to be depleted, right? And so to work with this energy, and it's going to be harder to do this, you have got to put this practice in. This is why this summer I was telling you guys, go work out, get out of your head, go do this, make it a habit. You have to go walk, go do something, right? This is important. So in this next year and a half, that north node, okay? Cancer's in your 6th house, which means it's very nurturing. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of healing. There's going to be, your lives are going to be looking very differently. And I've told a lot of you, if you're in the entertainment industry, especially if you're sports, musician, actors, all that, we've got these other aspects where y'all are about to blow up. Okay, public figures, things like that. That's 2019, 2020. I've said this before. I'm saying it again. So, again, I've tried not to go too deep. I can't help it. Okay, then on the 7th, so we've got the 1st, we've got the 6th, and that's just like the 6th. Then on the 7th, we have this new moon, if you look, in Scorpio. So this new moon is going to be in your 10th house. You've been working in your 10th house. That's where Jupiter's been. That's where Venus was, right? And a lot of you probably, I can see y'all are being a little bratty. Either you went one way or the other. So either those of you that weren't making money, all of a sudden started making money. Those of you that were making money, all of a sudden it kind of laid back, right? And that's because it's Venus retrograde. Don't forget you still have Jupiter in there that you've been working with, right? Now you have this new moon. So you have this new beginning that's going to begin. You've been working hard in Scorpio, so you've got these new beginnings that are going to happen with this new moon. I always have that new moon, full moon video. I'll have it again. I'll explain more about what's going on there. But on that same day, because something's going to change, because on that same day that you have this new moon, you also have Uranus moving into Aries. See, there's a lot of planets moving, a lot of things shifting into different signs. It's very different energy than it's been. It's not the energy of this summer. It's not the energy of the end of the summer. This is a whole new energy that we're kind of going into. It's now time to go forward. Opportunities, things happen. So Uranus moves into Aries, and that is going to be in your 3rd house. So this is administration. This is communication. This is your neighbors, your friends, your co-workers, and probably a lot of you as co-workers and friends and siblings that you're dealing with. And so Uranus is going to come shift something in here. Either there's paperwork to do, or you got to redo something to be able to get to this, whatever new beginning is, or you got to like do something extra. Something is going to shift here. And this is also that you can have this new beginning, right? So that's going to be happening on the 7th. Then on the 8th, I told you there's a lot going on. Then on the 8th, we have Jupiter moving into, if you look right here, so you'll have Jupiter, the moon, and Mercury moving into Sagittarius, right? Jupiter is going to be in Sagittarius for another year. This is just the beginning. Jupiter, that's its ruling planet. That's Sagittarius. Jupiter is the ruling planet. Jupiter feels comfortable in this house. Jupiter loves this house. Jupiter will gift a lot in this house. And where it was in Scorpio, where we had to learn lessons through some tension or some uncomfortableness or maybe even some crisis or some trauma or something, it's going to behave very differently in Sagittarius. It's optimistic. The lessons aren't so uncomfortable. It's lighter hearted. Doesn't mean it's not, how do I say this? You know you know how people say quality or quantity? It's like both, right? It's like the evenness of both. That's the way Jupiter is going to be in this house, right? This is your 11th house. So in your 11th house with Jupiter in there, and you'll have the moon in there for a little bit, and then you'll have Mercury in there as well. So this has to do with your groups. This has to do with the internet. This has to do with influential people. This has to do with Yeah, influential people, something having to do with your life purpose or your career or something, right? And so when Jupiter moves into there, Jupiter's the guru, Jupiter's the teacher, Jupiter wants to expand this house, so it wants you to gain that thing that you've been working for in your 10th house, right? In your career, in your life purpose, right? But it has to do with groups, it has to do with maybe influential people, it has to do with you gaining something, right? So that happens on the 8th. Then on the 16th, we have Mars leaving your sign. So I know you guys have had a lot of energy. I know you guys have been able to do stuff. I know you guys have been like working really hard on your stuff. It is now, and a lot of you have been working, and the money kind of went back, and you're like, what's going on? So Mars is moving into your second house, where that energy from you is going into what you value, right? So the money you earn, the value you keep, the valuables you have, all of that, Mars is going into that house. So Mars moving into that house, but also Venus turns direct on that day. So I feel like the money shifts. So, and even those of you that have been receiving money, it'll shift even bigger. It'll just get more. So the money shifts, you'll begin to receive your monies, you'll begin to make more money, you'll begin to like see the fruits of your labor, because this is the money that you earn. So it's not going to be talking to Neptune at that time, but I'll tell you in a little bit, it's going to be talking to Neptune. Some of you, and well, I can say this to you guys because you're really practical. Some of you that are in the entertainment industry, in the music industry, especially sports, music, yeah, actors, public figures, but especially sports. Yeah, I'll say sports, music, and actors. So, but even public figures. So anything having to do with that, when those two conjunct, when Neptune and Mars conjunct, you're going to the next level. That's why I told you I see some of you. And others of you that don't make it on this round doesn't mean you're not going to make it in this next year. It just means everybody's chart's different. So some of you get it like now, some of you get it in the next month and the next month. And so a lot of you are going to the next level. I told you you're going to blow up. So, so on that same day, Venus turns direct. Mars goes into your second house. Mars is that god of war. Mars is ambition. Mars is power. Mars is like strength and masculinity and that drive. Mars likes to action, and then think about it later, right? But it's going to be in the Piscean house where it has to behave and it has to like really focus that energy. And it's got Neptune in there, so it's got to really focus that artistic energy. How am I going to do this where everybody gets along? How am I going to like focus this attention? And that's where I see the fame coming when those two get close. So that's on the 16th. Then on the 17th, this is where we have to be careful. Yeah, this is where we have to be careful again. Aquarius. Mercury goes retrograde. So Mercury, the planet of communication, the processor. Remember, I would think of Mercury as the tissue in between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain, that tissue in between that connects, right? So it processes things. It's the god that it's able to go through worlds, through different dimensions and bring messages, right? So it's the messenger. So it's going to retrograde in your house of groups, in your house of internet, in your house of influential people. This is why I'm saying for you, Aqua, don't sabotage yourself. Don't do it. Take breaths during this retrograde. Make sure you heard what you heard. Make sure if you text someone and they don't respond, don't assume that they don't want to talk to you. You're in retrograde, Mercury retrograde. Text again. Yes. Get off of that proudness, that pride, and say, well, you know what? It is retrograde. Let me try it again. Okay? Like, be willing to adjust. Be willing to take some breaths. Be willing to listen because it could cost you. That's what I'm feeling with you guys. You could get in your own way. You could be dealing with an influential person, or maybe even in the group there's an influential person you have no idea, and then you do something because of the way that you feel so adamant about, and then it just turns off that person and you don't get the offer, you don't get the opportunity, or the opportunity goes away because you didn't text twice, or you didn't whatever, right? And then I don't even want to go into how you're going to deal with it, but that, just be careful, okay? Just be careful, be careful, be careful. Be willing to adjust. I know you're a fixed sign, but be willing to adjust in this Mercury retrograde. You will be in Mercury retrograde till December 7th. Things will not, you will be in shadow till the 19th, right? So you got to be really careful this next month. Then on the 19th, we have this grand water trine. So there is something about the sun in your 10th house, right? Chiron in your 2nd, which is your money. 10th is your career. 2nd is your money. And then the north node in your 6th. You have this opportunity to change your life. What are you going to do? You're going to have the opportunity. There's an old wound here that's got the potential to, because grand trines are about divinely guided gifts being brought to you so that you feel better. It's felt on an emotional level, that you feel better, you feel happy, you feel like this blessing, right? So with your 10th house and your 2nd house and your 6th house, you have this opportunity that could come in to change your life. But what are you going to do with that, right? Are you going to be like, well, it never happens the way that I want it to happen? Or are you going to be like, you know what? I've learned, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to get out of my own way, and I'm just going to do it. And then if it's not for me, it will fall through. If it is for me, it could go for like really, really far, right? So there's a grand water trine coming. Then on the 22nd, 23rd, depending on where you live in the world, I think it's the 23rd for me. Yeah, 23rd, we have this full moon in Gemini. This is going to be in your house of love affairs. So new moons are about new beginnings. It's the start, but full moons are about letting go of something that no longer serves you. It also is about illuminating a part of that space, that area of your life that you hadn't seen before. Some of you may have somebody coming in. Some of you may have somebody coming back and then letting them go. That's kind of what I feel like for some of you. You're going to have them come back and then you're really letting them go this time. That's kind of what I'm feeling. If they haven't already come back because you've had that Venus retrograde. If not, don't worry, some of you, it's going to shock you, but they're coming back. And I'm not talking to the ones that are always thinking about them, not you. If you're always thinking about them, that's not the ones that I'm talking to. I'm talking to the ones that think that they're gone, didn't really release them all the way. I know what you're doing. But somehow or another, the universe is like, y'all bump into each other, or they find you, or I don't know. It's something here. Yeah, I'm not going to go too deep. Okay, so just know that some of you have somebody coming back when this full moon happens, but I think it's to completely get closure and release. That's what I feel like, okay? That's not for everybody. Some of you may be ending a phase with this creative project, with this thing that came from your heart, with, yeah, like some of you might be like, because some of you I see like you have 3 or 4 projects, like maybe you have 3 or 4 businesses or 3 or 4 contracts or 3 or 4 whatever, and you're like letting go of one so that you can focus a lot on the other one or other 2, or maybe you're letting go 2 so that you can focus on the 1. So, yeah, something's going to be let go of here. So that's on the 22nd, 23rd. Then on the 24th or 25th, kind of depends. I think it's 25th for me. So on the 24th, 25th, this is when Mars and Neptune are conjunct, okay? This is where I like them conjunct. This is where I see in your 2nd house the money that you earn. Mars is about me. Mars is ambition. Mars is the god of war. Mars likes action, action, action. Neptune is about we. Neptune is about illusion and fantasy and all of that. But because this is in the house of the money that you earn and the valuables that you keep, if you're in the entertainment industry, if you're in sports, if you're in, yeah, I would even, yeah, sports, entertainment, musician, public life, even YouTubers, like YouTubers, maybe you're a motivational speaker. If you've been working on this stuff and this is like your life purpose and you've been really like figuring that out and you've been like grinding and grinding, I feel like a lot of you are going to get like this next level thing. So with these two coming together, they don't usually work well together, but you guys have been working on this. They can work well together. When you have them in charts, you see famous people, really, really, really famous people, like Michael Jackson and other people like that. So when these two are coming together, especially in your second house, I would say anybody, any sign that has in their second and their 10th, in their 11th, yeah, maybe even in their 7th. When you have these aspects there, you've got some bigger things happening, right? Now, for those of you that haven't been working on this, you can get into this sort of where if you're not balancing that Neptune Mars kind of energy in Pisces in that second house, you can get to where you're waiting for the universe to like do everything, and you're like almost becoming like the martyr, like, oh, poor me, and I'm just kind of waiting, and that's sort of the Neptune way, and Mars is like kind of holding back. But if it's not balanced, or you can be like too aggressive, and it's all about you, and you don't see the bigger picture, and Neptune can't help. Does that make sense? So you got to balance those two, but usually those two in balance, especially with this group, I can see you moving to the next level because y'all are on target. Y'all have been working. You've been really doing. You've been getting out of your comfort zone. You've gotten out of your head. You keep like doing, and I can see where this can help. Okay, take you to the next level. So congratulations. So that's going to end out the month. So let me pull some cards for you guys. Yeah, I would even say if you're dancers, because Mars is about like movement, body. Yeah, dancers, yoga instructors, things like that. Like action-oriented people in the public life. Like if you're an action star, you know, someone like Dwayne Johnson, who's like the hero, or Sylvester Stallone, that's a little older, but that's, you know, like the hero that plays the hero, like those kind of those kind of people. I can see where you get this contract, this movie, this thing, you get boosted to the next level, right? So, let's see, Aqua. And remember, with it being in your second house, take action, 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 action. That's how it's going to help. For you to stay out of your head, this thing that you've been creating, the way that you see that your money can come in, like take the action. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Alrighty, so let's see what's going on in November for Aqua. Yep, you have the Eight of Pentacles. You guys have been working hard. So in the beginning of the month, I see that you're working diligently. All month long, you'll be working diligently. You'll be really, really expanding your repertoire. You'll be really, really expanding your thing. I apologize for the dogs. But you'll be really, really expanding your knowledge. You'll be taking from your resources, from your experiences. You'll be doing a lot of higher learning, like just really expanding. But you see these are pentacles, so you've got this solid stuff coming, this stuff that's going to grow, the stuff that's going to be fruitful. That's what I see, whether it's in love, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your money, whether it's in yourself, whether it's in your family, whatever it is that you're focused on, that's all getting bigger. Okay, so what's their advice in this situation? You have the Seven of Cups. So I love these two cards together. It's like, I've done the work, and you know, Aquarius, you like to do things or like to have your blessings when you've done the work. So you're like, I've done the work, now I have the opportunities. So Seven of Cups is opportunity, 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 those seen and unseen. So that's their advice. As you're working, you're releasing, you're allowing energy to come in, you're allowing more people to come into your life, you're allowing opportunity to come in, you're allowing. You're finally allowing, and that's what they're saying. With this comes those opportunities. So how's this going to end? Sort of the month. So I have the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles is about really watching. Some of you, it's like really watching your budget. Some of you, it's like really watching your energy. Some of you, it's really taking care of yourself. The Four of Pentacles can be about, it could be about, it's not like scarcity like the Five of Pentacles. It's more like I'm being reserved. Like I'm really going to do this, and I'm really taking note, and I'm really being cautious, and I'm really being aware of how I treat people, how I am, the decisions I'm making. That, like, you're on point, Aqua, actually. Can feel you're on point with that. So there may be this space, some of you, where you get into this fear of, well, if I spend more money here, then I may not get it here. Or if I spend my time, let's not even talk about money. If I spend my time with this new boyfriend or this new girlfriend, then I'm not going to, maybe I won't have the time to do this. And I don't know that I want to do that yet. Like, so I can feel like where you're being reserved and you're kind of closing off. But don't do that. You can always turn that energy around and just say, no, this is going to be my boundary. This is my schedule. Remember that 6th house and the 12th house. This is my schedule. This is what's going to go on. I have this opportunity. Could be about these opportunities that you're getting, this work that you're doing. A lot of people don't understand, like, they think, I mean, so there's a lot of opinions about aquas, right? So they can think we're eccentric and we're quirky and we're like whatever. But they don't understand that, like, when we're alone, we're not bored alone. We're actually, we enjoy ourselves. We enjoy the universe. We enjoy, like, reading. We enjoy learning. We enjoy looking. We just enjoy, right? So I kind of feel like this is a habit that you've gotten into, this Eight of Pentacles, where you're like, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm focused, I'm doing. And then these opportunities come and you're like, I want those, but then I won't get to do this, right? Like, I kind of feel like that. Like, I want those, but that means I have to go out there and not stay in here, right? Like, I can feel that. Like, that may be what this Four of Pentacles is to some of you. But also it could be, it either has to do with your time, has to do with your money, or has to do with your emotions that you're going to have to, like, or you're going to want to pull back, okay? So just be sure to keep that energy balanced. All right, my gorgeous ones, I love you, love you, love you. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget that the most viewed video for next month is going, for this month, next month in December, you'll actually, whoever the sign is that's most viewed, will get a full Celtic spread, tarot, and astrology. I love you, love you, love you. Bye.